today. I'm very lucky to be going for a cab ride in the engine. We have got our driver, Tony. I've got to go the other way round now. How do I do this? Sorry. There. You're going to think that's better. So we've got our driver Tony today and fireman Mike, and we're in the cab of the engine. You guys are in your private train behind in two beautiful old carriages, and so when are we going to be leaving, Tony?
When the guard waves the green flag.
That is the correct answer. We are going to be leaving when the guard waves the green flag in a few minutes. So what I can do is just talk you through a little bit of what we've got here. So we've got Tony the driver. Tony is responsible for the train and the regulator and the brakes and the reverser and the safety of the train. That's actually, maybe I should say the guard is responsible for the safety of the train.
The guard's in charge of the train, we just do what we're told.
That's a very vital point. The other person we have up on the football here is Mike, who is the fireman, and Mike's job is to ensure that we have fire in the boiler and that we have steam pressure, and also very importantly that we have enough water in the boiler. So you can see the water level here. It's just about nearly at the top of the glass at the moment, and so Mike will be putting in more water into the boiler as we're going along. As we use steam, we use water, and so I'll show you in advance before we go. Down here on the floor is a water valve, and so that can be opened to let water to the steam, the water pumps. I'm going to see if I can make this a bit bigger. I can't. We also then have the steam valves that let the steam into the injectors. So that's the steam valve for one injector, that's the steam valve for the other injector, and they force water into the boiler through the two injectors. The main control is the regulator. You saw that when we were talking about it earlier on. So we have the regulator, we have the reversing gear here, which sets the valves to make the engine go forwards or backwards. We have a vital part here, which is the brake. It's an air brake, so that's the air brake lever there. We also have a steam brake for the engine, which is coupled to the air brake. So when the driver puts the air brake on, it puts the steam brake on as well on the engine. And here we have a very hot fire. It's so hot I can hardly stand here, in fact, with the firewall door open. You can't see you can't see the tubes where the flames go through. We've got a green flag and we are off. So you can feel the engine pulling on your train as Tony opens the regulator. That's the door shut so we can't fall out. There's a bit more steam on the regulator. So the pressure in the boiler at the moment is about 175 pounds per square inch. Not absolutely full pressure, a very light train we've got today. You guys aren't very heavy. And then here, this gauge is showing us the pressure in the steam chest. That actually shows you really how hard the engine is working. Not very hard at the moment, about 40 pounds per square inch. You'll see when Tony opens the regulator more, that pressure will go up. Actually, he's just notched up the reverser a little bit, and that's made the pressure go up too, because the engine's using less steam. So we're going up a small gradient here. I'll let you see the view that we are getting from the engine. And there are the passengers. You are. If we look at the engine itself, we're going along. See the steam coming out of the chimney, and you now know that not just steam coming straight at the moment. You both make quite a good view of the line. If you go a bend, the boiler gets in the way of seeing where you're going. So really, they both have to look out for signals and any danger on the line. I don't know if you can hear that funny sort of hissing noise. That is the injector putting water into the boiler. So all the time we're using steam, we're using water out of the boiler, and so the injector is replacing the water by pumping it in from the tanks being just along either side of the boiler here on a tank engine. I missed him doing it, but in a moment you'll see Mike will switch off that steam valve there. That's the steam to the injector. He'll switch the steam off and the noise will stop, and then he'll turn off the water supply to the injector as well. It's all happening at once here. Blowing the whistle, turning off the injector steam, and Mike has just switched off that valve there. Otherwise all the water from the tanks would just run on the ground and we run out of water. We're checking a level crossing here, that's clear. The train is still behind us, that is a good